and citizens who have violated no law, who have no reason to be monitored. Okay, well, we placed a few more caps. Getting a pretty stable picture now. Looking pretty good. I'll show you some of the ones I've done here so far. We placed some more up around the damper circuit on the high voltage. The high voltage started to go away. The picture started to bloom on me after some extended running, so I put some more caps up in here, placed more caps there and there. These all seem to tie into some of the high voltage circuits, so I thought that'd be a good thing to do. Here's still have a few left. I have some up in here. I haven't even checked to see what these do yet, but I do know that there's voltage on this side of this cap. It's like 200 volts here, and over here it's like half a volt. So I gotta wonder what's going on. If this cap's leaking at all, I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I'm not sure exactly what it does. I'd like to go look the circuit over and try to figure that out. There's a big wax cap there. This has to do with the brightness and the contrast. So that's always something to look at. All those functions seem to be working pretty well. Here's the brightness. Down, up, contrast. So they seem to be functioning okay. I replaced that one cap I was talking about the other night right here, which was a grid coupling cap to the audio out. Now I'm getting 0 volts at the pin like I should be in this cathode resistor. I didn't check the voltage before I checked before. You know, the voltage drop across that resistor will tell you how much current the tube is pulling through. It's correct now. It's 19 volts, so this thing's basically got a negative 19 volt bias. So that's according to the writer's manual, so I think I'm okay there. There's still one cap deep in there. It's going to be a real pain to get. It's a paper cap. It's across the primary of the audio out. It should be replaced. It's going to be a major pain to get at, but I'll do it eventually. When I run into really tough caps like that, I don't mind cheating a little bit with the replacement technique. I'll describe that in a little more detail here. Like, for instance, here's a good example. This cap used to be a tubular cap, and I left the wires alone where it was connected to the socket, and I basically pigtailed, that is, wrapped the ends of the replacement cap in a pigtail configuration. There's a black lead, you can see it right there. Just cut off right at the cap, slip the pigtail over, resolder it. Now, is it kind of ugly? Yeah. I mean, ideally I would have gone in there, cleaned out the connections at that pin socket, the tube socket, and done this right, if you will, factory I guess I should say. But the fact of the matter is, that's a 9-pin wafer socket with a gazillion things attached to it that's very old. You start getting in there and trying to clean that socket out, remove parts and get things out of the way, you got a pretty good chance of breaking one of the tabs off at the socket. You do that, you've just invited yourself a world of hurt. I mean, I've got fragile coils connected to it that are coil resistor combinations. I don't really want to try to find one of those. This is discretion being the better part of valor. You just go ahead and cut it, replace it with as little stress to the socket as possible, and move on. Back in the day when these things were being worked on, that would have been the way it would have been done. It would have been just J-hooked in. It wouldn't have gone through and cleaned out the socket. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing people who do that. You know, God bless them, they can get in there and do that kind of work and are willing to risk the occasional breakage. I fully understand this is no way a critique against people who choose to do it, for a lack of a better term, right. That is, to get it looking like a factory original type replacement. I don't go that route on things that are fragile and likely to break, or at least possible to break. You know, do the least amount of harm. Again, it's not a critique against people who do that. There's plenty of restorers out there who do fantastic work. They either have a better skill set than I, or they're just simply willing to accept the risk of occasional breakage, whatever their case may be, they do it, and I'm proud of them. But for me, I go the simpler route that's probably more in line with the way the TV would have been serviced if it's been worked on back in the 1950s, which wouldn't have been pigtail. They would have just J-hooked. In fact, I've actually read manuals about J-hooking as the preferred method of repair. Anyway, moving on from that, so I have one more cap to do there. That electrolytic is probably dried out. I bridged one over there. It didn't make any difference on the sound quality. I have to look at what these are doing. That one, and I haven't touched any of these molded rectangular shaped caps. I believe this larger one is a 220 220 PF, which means it's probably a true mica cap, so it may be okay. I see some more micas up there, but I have had issues in the past with poor sync that's been related back to these mica caps. So they're not completely immune from failure, and I do look at them if I have sync issues. The sync on these sets should be pretty solid. I mean, it shouldn't be doing like it's doing that. When I see it's kind of shaking at the top there, that's not right. So it was fine a minute ago, and now it's doing that. Let me see if I can adjust the horizontal, make it stop there. There may be some issues. These things should be pretty solid. I'll come back to it and see. But that's about it. We're getting close. What am I going to do with this cabinet, with this chassis? I have no idea. I don't have a cabinet for it. This has just been one of these weekend exercises and recapping just for fun. Maybe I'll just keep it working. I mean, what's good about it is it does have a nice, convenient place to mount the CRT. I mean, it's got a built-in mount, so unlike my RCA right up there, which I had to fabricate a mount, this one already has it ready to go. So I might end up just putting this one out as a demo chassis if I ever came across a nice cabinet. And who knows, maybe I'd have a chassis I could just pop in and be ready to go. I don't ever sell this stuff. Some people say, well, you can always probably sell it on eBay as a working chassis, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I don't do that. You never will get enough. To me, in my opinion, you never get enough money for the parts that you're giving up. And let's face it, parts is what it's all about. I got the storage space. I'll keep it in case I need parts or need a working chassis. I'll have it. I won't. The $50 I'll get for the working chassis just doesn't make any sense to me. That's me, though. Whatever. Anyway, it's coming along. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm just about there. I'll have one more pick when I replace those remaining caps, and I'll put in the new CRT. I've got a really good CRT for this. It's an aluminized 10-inch CRT that tests really strong and good cutoff, so it should make a decent picture when it's all done. Anyway, more later. Thanks again.